we have some images from one of your more recent projects. And I know your firm is really doing very well, and you guys recently moved, and I want to talk about that, but I want to bring up just an image or two from Delfina.
Sure. So Delfina is a project that we have recently worked on. It just opened a few weeks ago. Craig and Annie are the owners. They're a husband and wife team. They have an incredible story. They're very inspiring clients. And we were sort of tasked with combining their original location, which actually encompasses 3 storefronts that they acquired over the years as their concept grew. This picture we're looking at right now used to be the pizzeria, which was sort of an add-on to their original fine dining location. And so we were tasked with redesigning the entire space as one cohesive, high-end kind of fine dining restaurant for them.
And that ceiling must have been interesting.
Yeah, it was. It almost got cut out because it was a bit difficult to design. The architect, whose name is Sarah Fucinaro, and she runs Fucinaro Designs, she actually came up with the arch idea, which I thought was so brilliant. When she said it, I said, we absolutely have to do that, and we have to find a way to make this work. This second part of the restaurant is very sort of long and narrow. And we were talking about, how do we make it feel really special? How do we make it feel like a space that kind of has an identity of its own? And she was talking through all this amazing sort of inspiration about like these vaulted architectural elements that you see in Italy that can be really beautiful. And it was sort of like, how do we modernize that and make it fit within the space? And so we ended up doing this really beautiful brass mesh specification on the material with these sort of like ribbed bone vertebrae, if you will, to hold the brass mesh up within this arch structure. And it turned out better than I thought it would.
So basically, instead of necessarily, you're not constrained by, we want to source this something, but I'm not finding it. You could just make it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a lot of times, we typically design without thinking about sourcing. So we design with what would be our ideal version of this. And then sometimes it ends up being more cost effective to source certain elements. And sometimes it's more cost effective to design things custom. Like the arch, for example, is an unsourceable item. So that obviously had to be designed custom. But even things like the mirrors in this picture is something that we might make if we needed it to be the exact size that we wanted, versus being able to source something that exists. I think with supply chain issues being such a challenge over the last couple of years, one of the luxuries we've had is being able to just make things. And typically we can make things for similar to retail pricing because we do such high volumes of things. So it's been really nice to be able to have that in our back pocket.
So there is another facet. How interesting, because when you're talking about how it was really encompassing a story that had different sections, not just chapters.
Yeah, totally. So you can see one of the things we decided to do was keep the original demarcations of the storefronts in the floors. So you can see that the wood floor, which is first, is the original Jara wood, is the species of flooring that they put down when they opened their first storefront. Then they expanded, and that's like got concrete slab, which you can see. And then what we call the private dining room, which was the pizzeria, we had to put a new floor in, but it has a mosaic that's sort of reminiscent of the original pizzeria floor. And so being able to build on those layers gives the space a real authenticity, and it really starts to tell the story of their past within the space and how it changed and evolved over the years. But you can see that combining the two spaces had its challenges. We wanted each space to sort of feel special and unique, but also really connected as one restaurant. So we built these really beautiful, they're kind of like an amber, like a soft, glowy amber resin is what they are. They're from a company called Freeform, and they louver open and close between the two spaces to be able to sort
Ah.
of create activation when you want them open, or if someone really wants to do a buyout in that back room, it can become more private.